Hello, I'm Malia, and I am a gardener in a small backyard garden in North Texas, Zone 8B. Let's look at what my garden looks like for April. So here we are on April the 3rd. It's a little bit of a chilly day today. My poor tomatoes, I'm probably going to have to cover those. They're looking okay now, but we're going to be having some mornings down into the 40s in the next few days. I might have been a little bit overzealous in trying to get my tomatoes and peppers in the ground, but hopefully I can get them covered with row covers tomorrow before the cold. There's my roses I put in pots. I've got another one over on the other side. I have some lettuce coming in that I'd thrown out here a couple of weeks ago. There's the chamomile I'd put in the ground. My bunching onions, not sure if you can see, they are starting to put on some scapes. Might let those flower this year. My little Parisian carrots are starting to sprout. I'm hoping because they're such a tiny carrot that they'll be a quick growing one, and I can have a small harvest of those. My Danver carrots have always just been horrible. I'm probably going to stop trying to plant those once I run out of seeds. There's some more lettuce there. My spinach is starting to really do well. I'm pretty excited about that. It's the first time I've done spinach from seed that actually sprouted. There's my basil. A couple of them look like they're struggling a bit, probably because it's a bit chilly. The peppers I planted, let's see if we can, there, you see a little bit of a tiny sprout there. I've mulched them pretty heavily, so I knew the cold was coming through, and then I'll be throwing row covers over all of these. But yeah, these ones that used the compostable pots are all still stunted. Same goes for these. But all the others are looking pretty good. Let's see, there's another one using a compostable pot. I'm pretty much just going to get rid of those. I have some kale here that I'm probably going to just go ahead and cut down as it's starting to look a little sad. Not everything works out. On the other hand, the lettuce is thriving. I'm harvesting about a half a pound a day right now, and it really doesn't even look like I'm thinning it. As you can see, it's growing here amongst all this garlic. I might see if I can pawn some of this off on friends soon. Over here is the potatoes. Look how huge those things have gotten. This is where I'm going to start planting corn later, after it warms up a bit more. I still have this one potato plant that is smaller than all the others, and I think it was actually the first one I put in. There's those onions I rehomed to make room for the peppers, and I'm not sure if you can really see them here, but these are my maybe leeks, maybe onions. The rest of them are over there. They're still very tiny. I have some kohlrabi going over there. Not all of the seeds sprouted, but I'm gonna have some, I think. My peas are doing very well. The cucumbers, I might have to just start over with seed if the cold weather is bad as I think it's going to be. But my peas are happy. We're even starting to put on some flowers. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I had taken some sprouts off and to hope to encourage them to branch out. Here's some melon that I once again got a little over enthusiastic about getting in the ground. Probably should have waited on that, but it's early enough. I can just, if the cold takes them out, I can just reseed them. There's the third rose that's in the backyard, that's in pots anyway. This one is the handle. This is the one I'm most excited about. It's a two-tone one that should be very pretty. There's my pickling cucumber. Probably gonna have to restart that one as well. But I put beans all through here a couple of days ago. Pretty excited about that. I've got a variety. I've got, let's see, I did 2 square feet of pinto, 2 square feet of kidney, then 6 square feet of pinto, and then I think a tricolor mix that I've gotten for free, some Blue Lake, put a little bit of borage there, and then this one is French green bean. And then I still have this thing. I've had it for years. I really need to get that in the ground somewhere. I'm just so indecisive of where it should go. Over here I threw some sunflowers. There's my tarragon coming back. I put another chamomile in plant there. And this, I'm not 100% sure what I've got coming in here. I'm thinking it might be one of my dahlias that I put in. I think I put a dozen in last year, maybe 9 or so, and I really didn't have a whole lot of hope for them because I don't think any of them, I think only one bloomed, and it was a really tiny bloom. But we will see what happens and try to figure it out. I did plant poppy seeds here in the fall, and I've not seen any signs of those coming up. There's the raspberry I planted this year, the strawberry I planted this year because all the ones last year died, the raspberry I planted last year, still nothing on the original branch from last year, but it's coming up nicely from the roots. This is the blackberry from last year. It's doing very well. And then we have some garlic I forgot to harvest last year. It seems to have gotten lost in things. It's going to have to come up next month when I get my blackberries from Stark Brothers. They have pushed my delivery date back to May. It was supposed to be like end of March or sometime in April. We're now saying May. Let's see, I put in some zinnias here. I started labeling them, and then I just ended up throwing them everywhere. This is, let's see if we can find it. So that little bit of green is one of the 3 artichokes I put in. The one that was there died. You will note they were in the compostable pots and not doing well. Back here is where I'm going to be putting grapes when they arrive. Part of that Stark Brother order. This is the oregano I planted last year, and it is flourishing. It's going to make a very nice ground cover. I think the other thing I'm going to put in here is going to be some asparagus. I've got some little seedlings going. We'll see if I can get those transferred. And this basically is going to turn into a all perennials along the fence eventually. I think I threw out some seed, flower seeds here. This is the Swiss chard from last year that is flourishing. The other 2 plants are now officially dead. This is where I put that aged chicken bedding. Figuring it shouldn't be a problem since it's going to be a while before I get the grapes in. This is already several months old. But this one, this artichoke is the only one that really looks like it might make it. So I'm pretty excited about that. It also is in one of those compostable pots. Then we have my Paradise Rose that I planted last year, and its first bloom is coming up. I'm really excited because this thing has a beautiful scent, and it makes such a pretty color. It comes in this kind of lavender pink, and the edges turn into this nice, pretty hot pink color. Of course, the lavender itself is dead. It had started to come alive and put on some green, and then we had another cold spell come through, and I think that just finally wiped it out. But I have another English lavender that I started from seed that I'm going to put in this place later once it gets a little bigger. My sage was looking so scrawny after I moved it here, and now it is so pretty. It just bushed out within a couple of weeks while I was in New Orleans, and now it's got all these beautiful purple flowers on it. I absolutely love it. And then my Swiss chard that I had started from seed, 3 of the 4 made it enough to make it into the ground. It's starting to look like it's recovering. Here we have the spicy oregano I got in Louisiana this year, and it seems to be quite happy. Most of the Italian parsley seems to have died out. I think those were all in compostable pots, but I have one little bit going there. And the French thyme I got in Louisiana is doing well. And then my little rosemary. I had 6 huge rosemaries in the front, and we had a deep freeze here in Texas a few years ago, and it did a lot of damage to the rosemaries, and they were just slowly dying off over the years. So my wife pulled them up and got me a replacement rosemary, and it's gone here in the backyard with this. I'm hoping to eventually turn into all perennials, herbs. I might see if I could trellis a apple tree here. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really sure what this is. If anyone has any idea, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll just see if it survives this upcoming cold snap and find out what it is later. I'm beginning to suspect this is one of the dahlias I planted last year. I think I put out about a half dozen. I think this is the only one that's coming back. And here we have the apple tree. That's some grass I need to pull out of there. But there's the Goffrinia. The lemon balm is just flourishing. And the lemon thyme is looking really nice. And the lemon mint has come back. And I believe I've got some lemon bergamot seeds that I think might need to go in here as well. And I'll just have a whole bed of lemony stuff. But I'm pretty excited about that. And over here we have the stuff in pots. We have a sweet mint and a spearmint. That's my plumeria. I might need to bring that in over the weekend. I planted asters there, but nothing has come up. But they were older seeds. I think they were some freebies I'd gotten. This was some paper that had some seeds embedded in it that you were supposed to be able to plant. I'm not seeing much progress on that yet. This is supposed to be English daisy, but then that is also supposed to be English daisy. They came from 2 different suppliers. One of these is wrong. I put Shasta daisy in here. I got those seeds from a big box store. Not seeing any signs that it's doing anything yet. And there are some of my onion chives. And this is the pot that I put my ginger in. I'm not seeing any signs yet, but that could take a while. I think that's everything in the backyard right now. So far, the front yard just has a rose and a fig tree. But the fig tree's been there over a decade, and it is my main source of fruit right now. I am pretty excited to see buds on this. See if we can get this to focus on one. Here we go. But yeah, some buds are showing up on this Purple Floor Show. I'm not sure why it's called Purple Floor Show, because the photos I saw of the blooms were more of a hot pink. But we'll see what it actually looks like when they bloom. And this is kind of an overall view of where things are in the garden right now. I guess to kind of give you some perspective of where all these things are, you just got a close-up of. And it's not the prettiest thing, but it's mine, and it's growing food, and that makes me very happy. And this is lettuce I harvested today. pound and a half, I think. Anyway, if you're enjoying seeing my garden progress, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.